we're here today. 40 years ago, yesterday, just 40 years ago, was a tasting called the Paris Tasting. Some of you will know of it. Stephen Spurrier, who's a great colleague of mine, was a young wine merchant in Paris. And he decided to put on the tasting of California wine with French. And this wine tasting literally changed the wine world, because it was the first time that it was recognized that great wine could be made outside classic regions like Bordeaux. And why it was important was the people who judged the wines were French. There were luminaries like Aubert de Blaine of Domaine Romney-Conti. There was the editor of Revue Vin de France. It was such a sensation, it made Time magazine. And it also changed the way wine was. In 1976, the number one varietal in California was not Cabernet, it was Carignan. Zinfandel was number 2, Cabernet was number 3, and Chardonnay wasn't even in the top 5. So that was a hell of a change. And I think what it is we're not saying one is better, but what we're saying is California absolutely competes on greatness. And we're thrilled to be able to show you these wines today. What we have here are some great classics and some great new ones. We've got a lot of wines to get through, and so Deborah, tell us about the Sauvignons.
Okay, well, it's an interesting move to put Sauvignon Blanc into the flight, and one that the panel discussed vigorously, because it's not what one affiliates with California, and yet it's one of the most interesting trends taking place in California today. And so we gave you a selection that's a little bit more of a traditional style and then a contemporary style, but both from classic producers. So I feel really pleased to start with Robert Mondavi, because how can you launch a California tasting without the Mondavi name?
I think that perhaps, along with Pinot Noir, the quality of California Sauvignon Blanc has risen astronomically in the last 10 years. It is a variety that always was sort of a bit of a stepsister to Chardonnay. No longer. Many of the top Cabernet estates now have changed their mind entirely about Sauvignon Blanc. And I think what's so interesting is we all know where sort of New Zealand Sauvignon fits. We know what Sancerre and Pouilly Fumé are like. It's such a new phenomenon that no one would know exactly how to characterize all of these new styles of Sauvignon Blanc coming to the fore. And so, as wine lovers, I encourage you to keep your eye on what's happening with California Sauvignon Blanc, because it's changing by the minute, and the excitement for that variety in California is just vibrational. You can really feel it. It's great. Not unlike the wine itself, right? These wines are full of energy.
Sarah J., let's do a look at California Chardonnay. I'm very glad I'm talking about Chardonnay now, because I think, speaking from a British perspective, if I'd been talking about Chardonnay maybe 5, 10 years ago, it was a different thing. We were in love with a very different wine. We talked about California Chardonnay in a very different way. If, while I'm talking, you taste through these 3 wines, you'll see that we're talking about something completely different. As a result, for instance, in sales terms in the United Kingdom, in the last year, sales of premium Chardonnay have doubled in restaurants and hotels. It's really hit a sweet spot. So now I'm really very excited to be talking about these.
So Pinot Noir gets my vote for the variety that in fact has improved absolutely the most in the last 10 years in California. Serious wine people in the room know that Burgundy, the mothership, right? The mothership in so many ways has held our fascination with Pinot Noir forever, really. And so there was always Burgundy, and then somewhere way down the ladder, there was California and Oregon and eventually New Zealand. I don't think it's true anymore. I think I'm going to say something heretical to the Brits. I didn't say this ahead of time because Sarah is, Decanter Magazine, I write for them. I have to be really careful to not cross the line. I can be out of a job. But if California Pinot Noir had started first, before Burgundy, would all those Burgundians be saying to themselves, man, we just can't get it right. Our wines are just too thin. We just can't hit this baseball out of the park. So, you see where my allegiance lies. Sorry, Burgundy, but California's come up very fast. It's important to know also that it's come up kind of quietly. Pinot Noir winemakers are an unusual group of people everywhere in the world. And that's, I think, dictated by the fact that the variety itself is really hard to make. I only know one person who makes both Pinot Noir and California. Usually these are two separate personality types. And one day I did say to him a few years ago, so Scott, what's it like? You make Cabernet and you make Pinot Noir in California. I don't know anyone who does that. And he said, well, making Cabernet is like coming home to the best black lab you've ever owned. You could be gone 12 hours, the dog jumps on you, licks you, it's so happy to see you. It's great. And making Pinot Noir is like coming home to the worst cat in the universe. So
I call for Zinfandel because I think in California it has been so popular for so long. And in some cases it got a bit dumbed down for the international markets. And I felt that we really needed to see some examples of real Zinfandel, classy Zinfandel, and of the Zinfandel I fell in love with. Not only as an adult, but Daddy giving me sips of Zinfandel by the fire at the barbecue. And I must say, my family has just a few vines, but they're also Zinfandel. So I have a weakness, yes, for the grape variety, and I don't see enough of it in the market, which is why I wanted to put it out there.
Syrah, now this is a very interesting conundrum, and it's not a conundrum for California, it's a conundrum for the whole world. It is when you talk to top producers around the world, whether they're in Chile or in Australia, or wherever you find them, they'll say, we find Syrah really hard to sell. And together, we'll say, but Syrah is that great variety, which is the one that you find in the Rhone. It's like half of one of the great traditional European wines. But the things they're normally sold as blends, or often sold as blends, it's never had its own marketing campaign. Instead, we've had a marketing campaign for the same grape varieties, which is Shiraz. So very strongly, there have been campaigns for Shiraz, and that's particularly something that you find in Australia. So what we have here are two wines that definitely say, we are Syrah. We're claiming to have a very distinctive, very lovely open style. But it's never going to be the one wine that sells perhaps as much as Cabernet, which is coming to us next. But we really, really wanted to show what's happening with Syrah, because I think some of the most exciting wines are happening with Syrah.
Well, it's fitting that we would put Cabernet, of course, last by virtue of its regalness as a grape, I think. Cabernet's history in California is relatively new. The grape was certainly grown 200 years ago. It's only been in the last 25 years that Cabernet has achieved real prominence, certainly in the Napa Valley, but really throughout California. So what are we looking for in Cabernet? I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for a sense of power and elegance simultaneously. It seems kind of counterintuitive, right? Because you hear wines described as either one way or the other. But I think the best Cabernets, in the same split second, say to your head, power and elegance. It has to happen. For me, both of them have to be there. The other thing that I'm looking for is a certain yin-yang of texture. So, who comes to Hong Kong and doesn't go out and have a great dinner, right? So the other night we went out and had this amazing duck. Or those ducks hanging up, but anyway, we had them. And I realized that Cabernet was duck. That there's a kind of structure on the out. Oh, okay, no black Labradors, and then the ducks.
Well, let's Hong Kong from Malay to Dutch.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a whole new. I see Cabernet in a whole new way after this visit to Hong Kong because when you eat great duck, right? There's the crispiness of the outside, and then this juicy, soft inside, and that's exactly what great California Cabernet is supposed to do. It's supposed to take you from the crusty exterior, in the case of Cabernet, its structure and tannin, and then a few seconds later, take you into the juicy center, which sometimes, in fact, is a little meaty.